Hey everyone, it's Elliott, and welcome back to the channel. So today I wanted to talk about when to quit a gig. When to quit it, why to quit it, how to quit it, whatever. But you know what I'm saying, like when to excuse yourself from a band. Hopefully that's not happening too often in your musical life. It's only happened twice in mine, but both times were pretty stressful, and it was like, I don't know what to do. And it would have been helpful to at least hear someone talk about it a little bit. I'm also going to include times that we get heated about something, but shouldn't quit the gig. We can just do why to leave, why not to leave, why to leave, why not to leave. Let's start with why to quit the gig. Number one would be a terrible atmosphere. Like a super, everyone's really garbage to each other. Someone's treating someone miserably, kind of an abusive atmosphere or whatever like that. When it gets past small disagreements or just, an argument you had, then it might be time to go. That was actually one of the reasons I left one of the times. I played in this band for about 2 years, 2.5 years, and every now and again something not cool would happen, but then whatever, it'd be fine for a few months, and then maybe something would be kind of annoying, but then it'd be fine for a few months. Not a big deal generally. It was only after being all day, every day with each other for the fourth time, for the fourth week, basically, that things got way out of hand. I'm just listening to someone get berated who's also in the band and getting fired and then unfired the next morning and then fired again, then unfired, then fired, then unfired. And the stress of being kind of on the road already is whatever. And then just being in a basically 24-hour argument or whenever you're not awake is just an uncomfortable, tense, miserable experience. After a few weeks of that, you're like, I gotta go. So I had some people going that's garbage, I would never put up with that. And I had some people going a gig's a gig, never leave it. So did I follow my instincts and quit that gig? Yes. Did I do it with a ton of pride and I left with my head held high? No, absolutely not. I found my way to the airport and was just super stressed for the next 3 days. Did I regret it in the end? No. After me, there were 5 guitarists, some of which lasted literally 1 gig. The rest lasted a little bit longer and left for similar reasons. So in the end, I followed my gut, and it ended up being everyone's gut. On the other hand, when not to quit, though, is if you're just having disagreements with people. If you're just you're like, oh, I kind of hate you right now, whatever, that kind of thing. Where you just have arguments. That's fine. That's normal. That's as a band, you're basically a family. You're very close, you're all working toward a common goal, you have all of your very shared dream in mind. It can get tense sometimes, that's fine, but if treated with respect and everything like that, and it's hey, I don't want to be pissed at you, I just really care about this other thing, and blah 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 blah. Communication helps a lot. So if it's just arguments and everything like that, whatever. People say sorry a day later, whatever, That's not fun, but it's not really a reason to leave. Unless, of course, during that argument, someone throws you off a bridge, then obviously leave. But, barring ridiculous things, if just 2 people arguing, kind of whatever, even though it's unpleasant. The next reason to quit would be there's no vision or progress with the band. And I don't mean it's been a year and we're not famous yet. I don't mean that. I mean progress, you're having rehearsals because people are forgetting the songs that you already have down and have gigged several times. You're just basically rehearsing so you don't get much worse. That's not okay. Forgetting songs sometimes is obviously fine. I don't mean it like that. I just mean you're not recording anything, you're not writing anything, you're not filming anything, you're not playing any shows, and people are forgetting the songs. What are you doing then? Or there's no vision. No one has an idea of what the band should sound like or where the band should play or, should we do anything? Everything gets paused because someone doesn't really feel like rehearsing right now. There's no idea for the band. There's no message you'd be getting across by playing a show or recording or filming a video or whatever. And there's no progress. You're basically doing nothing. You're almost not in a band to begin with. If you happen to know someone, however, who would like to just basically chill with people who have instruments, then maybe call in that person and and leave ceremoniously and being like, hey, this isn't for me, but it might be for this person. On the other hand, if you're just going through like a low morale period or something, which every band I've ever known has had, that's not a reason to leave. That is a reason, however, to like have a solo project or have like, be in a few bands or something like that. So, when that lull comes around, your whole musical life doesn't come grinding to a halt. If you like wrote an album, but you're just waiting annoyingly long for the mixes to be done and the mastering to be done, or you finished all that and now you're gonna like get some album art or something like that and you're just waiting an annoying amount of time for that to be done, or you book some shows but they're not for like 3 weeks or 4 weeks and you're just like, I want to get out there. Like, yeah, you can get a little frustrated, you can get a little antsy, you can get a little whatever. That can happen. That's totally fine. I know there have been times for me where it's been like, let's try something else, let's try something else, let's try something else. Like I like having a lot to do, and that wasn't the vibe of that band. So, it was annoying, but after a while I was like, I'm not fitting the vibe of this band more than like, the band is doing anything different. And I still like playing with them. It's totally fine. It was just like, oh, again, I could use like maybe 2 or 3 bands or however many more to just kind of keep me busy. Just steady. I like being steadily busy. Another reason to quit would be no musical payoff. I know that probably sounds a little bit like what I just said not to quit over, but it's not the same thing. I mean more like when you were brought on as a bandmate. You were brought on as someone who would contribute musically. And then you realize maybe not everyone in that band thought you were, a bandmate. They thought you were just a session person. And all of a sudden you have no say whatsoever and you just need to be given parts to play. And you could just go, whatever, I guess I'm just a backing musician. And I would encourage that, honestly. But if you just happen to be in the scenario where you're like, yeah, but I wanted to only join this band. I didn't need another backing musician gig. I have those. I wanted my like original band. I wanted my band where I got to write and like grow my musicality. Then, if you don't need another, paid backing thing, yeah, that might be a reason to leave. This kind of thing is the second time I left a band. I was told like, oh man, we play huge shows. We want you on as a band member, like whatever, blah, blah, blah. We're going to have you write your own stuff. It's going to be a lot of creative freedom and like you're joining this awesome project. Once I had joined that band, everything I had previously mentioned turned out not to be true. Did I figure that out immediately? No. Did I figure that out over like 7 or 8 months? Yeah. So what I mean by this is more like when you hear people go like, oh, there's a lot in the works. And you're like, oh, that's exciting. Yeah, what's in the works? Oh, dude, so many things. Okay, cool. Like, you got any examples? Like, I'm really excited to hear about it. Whoa, like, yeah, we got stuff. Like, what, you're giving me the 20 questions right now? And it's like, okay, I'll let it go this time. And then, a month later, it's like, hey, so like, we got any projects coming up? Oh, dude, we got so much stuff. Okay, can I hear about it? Can I help with anything? Oh, no, man. It's just, it's all, the wheels are in motion. Are they in motion or are there no wheels on this bus? And so if you find yourself in a scenario where the band is like, trust us, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Everything's in the works. It's all cool. And you can't get a straight detail. No. Someone else can waste their time with that. A reason to stay, however, would be if only one of the following 3 things are missing. It's something that's often said from one session musician to another. If the pay is good, great. If the hang is good, great. If the music's good, great. If 2 of those 3 are good, it's worth staying in. All 3 is good, awesome. If 1 of those or 0 are good, maybe think again. The last thing I want to bring up is when not to quit, and that's when the band won't let you do your thing. I say this again in extreme scenarios only. Like if I only was really into bebop, but I was in a, pop band or whatever, and they were like, take a solo, and I just took like a really standard bebop solo. Like, they're not limiting my creativity by saying like, hey, could you not do that? If you can combine all of your influences or maybe a new influence or something like that into your playing in a way that actually still fits the songs that you're playing, awesome. If you're just kind of shoving stuff that you love that's doesn't have anything to do with the genre you're playing or the songs you're playing, yeah, that's not a reason to leave. That's a reason to go like, hey, am I playing to the song here? Am I playing to the overall vibe of the band even? One of the first bands I played with when I got to LA was kind of like a folky, maybe country, but more folky kind of thing. And I was really into like Holdsworth, Julian Lage, etc. Figured it'd be fun to show you, even though it was taken like at night and is not the best quality, you can still hear quite clearly what's going on. And actually it was one of my favorite solos to play, and actually the band's favorite solos, because it would usually like get people's attention. Some of the arpeggios were a little extra, but I think like overall, like, you know, 1 for me, 3 for you or whatever, like, I think overall it fit and was pretty exciting. So if you have some experiences or reasons that you've quit a band or almost wanted to quit a band but didn't, let me know in the comments. Thanks very much for watching, and thanks for dropping by the channel. We're excited about guitar.